Sanders in round 5. Give me the one word. Wow. It happened. It happened 143 picks later than some people thought it might happen. But Shedeur Sanders goes to Cleveland in round 5. And the Browns end the drought. They end the slide for Shedeur. Welcome to the land, Shedeur. The Browns make the biggest splash, the biggest headline pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, going with Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Could you say steal?
Unreal. One moment. Okay. Shedeur Sanders to the Browns. Instant reaction is, hey, at pick 144, you can't be too upset with the value you're getting here for sure. But overall, I feel like this is worth the gamble. Worst case scenario, you're out round 5, pick 144. Best case scenario, you get what a lot of people like Mel Kiper see, which is the number 1 quarterback in this draft. Shedeur Sanders goes to Cleveland after all. The Browns get Mason Graham in round 1. And sure, why not circle back to good old Shedeur in round 5? In a trade up with the Seahawks, Shedeur Sanders finally gets his name called. He is going to be a Cleveland Brown. You change. I'm busy right now. Shedeur Sanders. Unbelievable, but so believable at the same time. They took Dillon Gabriel in round 3. I thought they had a good chance of going with 2 quarterbacks in this draft. And now Shedeur goes to Cleveland. Give me your one-word reaction. It happened. Shedeur Sanders to the Browns, everyone. Shedeur Sanders to the Cleveland Browns. Hard not to be upbeat, optimistic about this. For where you're finding him in round 5, there's very little downside here. The only downside I can think of is if you don't like the entourage that kind of follows Shedeur and you don't want Dion kind of, pulling strings from Boulder with his son and with the Cleveland Browns. If you'd rather just play it safe with someone who doesn't bring a whole lot of baggage. But Shedeur Sanders, we'll talk about him as a player. I like the pick. I like the pick for Cleveland. It's pick 144. How can you not like the pick at this point? There's no downside here. The only possible downside is the Browns prioritize 2 quarterbacks over Will Howard and Kyle McCord. And if those guys have better careers, then you missed out. But Shedeur Sanders. Wow, it happened. It really happened. Holy shit. Shedeur Sanders is a Brown. Good. I don't know why they just didn't do that. Shedeur Sanders. Sanders is a Brown. Yep. Let's do it. 1 second. One moment.
Oh my God. Okay.
I'm just flooded with thoughts right now.
I love it. I love it. You get him way later than anyone thought anyone was going to get him. Round 5, pick 144. This is, it's a steal.
Yep.
I don't know why nobody wanted him, but you get, if you look at we'll look at the Browns picks, but you get so many good players, and then Shedeur Sanders.
Uh-huh. All right. We ready to do this thing? Here we go. The Browns get it done. They take Shedeur Sanders in round 5 after trading up with the Seahawks, and they make the biggest splash, the biggest headline from the NFL draft, taking the Colorado quarterback. Let's talk all about the pick. Let's talk about Shedeur as a player as well, what you're getting in him as a quarterback, but also we got to talk about the fact that at the end of the day, the Browns did get Shedeur Sanders. They just got him 142 picks later than a lot of people wanted to initially. But right off the bat here, I like the pick. How can you not? It's round 5. It's pick 144. Forget like the attention and the, I wouldn't even call it a circus, but the entourage and the spotlight that follows Shedeur. You got a great quarterback for round 5. You can't not be optimistic about the potential for where you found him in the draft. Value alone, this is a great pick. The funny thing with the Browns draft picks is if you just reorganized a couple of them, people would love the Browns draft way more. But Shedeur Sanders, let's talk about him as a quarterback, right? Just the cliff notes and what you're getting in Shedeur. First off, you are getting a 4-year starter who played 2 years at Jackson State before going to Colorado. Overall, the big ticket pros for him are accuracy, toughness, and I'd say clutch playmaking. He's got a knack for just coming through when you need him to the most. The accuracy is by far his calling card. He holds the college football record in completion percentage. He did throw a lot of screen passes, if we're being fair, which definitely helped pad some of those completions. But you are getting a quarterback who does not have a cannon or a rocket of an arm. He is not the most physically gifted player. He's not going to use his legs to get himself out of trouble and be like Lamar. He doesn't have an arm with a howitzer on it that can throw all over the field. But what he does have is a lot of experience. 4 years in the college ranks. He knows anticipation. He knows where the receiver's going to be in relation to the DB. He's got accuracy. He just has a little bit of swagger to him, too, that obviously draws people to him. I like the pick. Now, I'm not going to hide away from the fact that I was never high on Shedeur Sanders leading up to the draft, but if at round 5, what the hell, why not? Who are you going to get that's any better that could have a much bigger impact on a team than a quarterback like Shedeur Sanders? He's not the biggest guy in the world. He's 6'1", 212 pounds, so he can see over the line of scrimmage unlike the Browns' third-round draft pick. But the overall on Shedeur, as you look at his stats here, is, well, he doesn't have maybe the biggest arm and the fastest legs in the world. He makes good decisions at times, which I'll look at closer in a second here. He's got great accuracy, and it's Shedeur Sanders. You want to sell some jerseys, Jimmy Haslam? Here you go. You want to get people a little bit more excited for Browns training camp and preseason the next year? Here you go. Do I think Shedeur is going to be this team's starting quarterback for the next 8 to 10 years? Honestly, probably not. But do I love it for round frickin' 5? Hell yeah, I do! So if you are with me on, you know what, whether you loved Shedeur going in or you didn't want him at all, we can all break bread on, at pick 144, at least everyone that drove us crazy for 3 months on Twitter saying, take Shedeur at number 2, can back off now. Everyone's happy. The Browns get Mason Graham, a great interior player for the next decade. They have 2 first-round draft picks next year. They found multiple starters in day 2 of the draft. And now, which may be their last pick in day 3 of the draft, they go with Shedeur Sanders, a second quarterback taken in this draft. And like I was saying, I swear, if you just reorganize some of the picks, no one would have an issue with the Dillon Gabriel pick. If they went Shedeur in round 3 instead of round 5, everyone would be praising the Browns draft. So, Shedeur Sanders, you're a Cleveland Brown. It really happened. There will be no Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders goes to Kevin Stefanski, who I felt like all along would be a great fit. The way Stefanski likes to run his offense under center, right? He wants to use 2 tight ends. He wants to run the football. He wants to get play action involved. That's Shedeur. Now, I'm going to talk more about him as a player, as a quarterback in just a second, but I do have to give a quick shout out to our sponsor today, which is House of Atlas. Our sponsor, House of Atlas, is a brand new razor company that just hit the market. They gifted us one of their razors, and honestly, I'm blown away. It's insanely sleek looking and sits great in my bathroom as well. Their aftershave is awesome. It doesn't burn like old school aftershave. It does have a nice cooling sensation and smells really good. And now for a limited time, they are offering 15% off your first order when you purchase any razor kit at the before and after set, which includes the Precision Shave Cream and Calming Aftershave. Use code CHAT at houseofatlas.com. That's HOUSEOFATLAS.com with promo code CHAT for 15% off your new razor kit and before and after set. Stop wasting money and time on shaving products that don't look good, aren't effective, and cost way too much. Visit houseofatlas.com today. Trust me, you'll love it as much as I did. Getting back to Shedeur, let's do a quick compliment sandwich for him. Pro, accurate, good decision making. He just has a good knack for reading defenses, and that comes with 4 years of starting college experience. Con, put the physical traits to the side because we've seen plenty of quarterbacks do well without having strong arms, right? Drew Brees, just to name one right off the bat there. I think people sometimes confuse a pro for a con. A pro that you often see is, hey, this guy's tough, right? He took 99, 92 sacks in college, and he got up for every single one, and he barely missed a snap, if any. Here's the thing. I don't know if that 99 sack thing is actually as big of a pro as people make it out to be. To me, I interpret that as he does not have maybe the best pocket awareness. I think he thinks he's faster than he really is, and whenever pressure comes, he bails out of the pocket by going backwards instead of maybe NFL quarterbacks do, which is climbing up in the pocket. That's what you see far more often on Sunday. Deshaun Watson, how often was he getting sacked? A lot. Was it because of the offensive line? Sure. Was it because Watson was holding onto the ball for way too long? Yes. That has to get coached out of Shedeur. He held onto the ball for over 3 seconds every single time he dropped back last year for CU. So I wish that part of his game maybe was improved, and that's what Kevin Stefanski's job is. But you look at the Browns quarterback room going into the NFL draft, and the Browns had one of the most underwhelming quarterback rooms by most standards. It was Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett duking it out. Then they added Dillon Gabriel. Deshaun Watson's going to miss the entire year with an Achilles injury. But after the draft, you insert Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders into this mix. And here's my prediction. The Browns are going to have a complete open competition between Flacco and Pickett for the number 1 job. The loser will be number 2 in theory. Gabriel and Shedeur battle for QB3. The winner of that battle gets to the 53-man roster. The loser of that battle goes to the practice squad. Maybe the Browns keep all 4 on the 53-man roster so no one gets poached on the waiver wire, but I think early on, he's not going to start. Neither is Dillon Gabriel. Both have plenty of college experience. They're not raw quarterbacks. But I feel that the Browns are going to go with Flacco or Pickett. I think they like Flacco. They gave up $13 million worth in contract money for him, and they traded for Kenny Pickett, who they might view as the next Sam Darnold, the next Baker Mayfield, the next Geno Smith, late bloomer of a QB. But the Browns get 2 quarterbacks in this draft, which I did in my mock drafts, and people laughed at me and said, they're not taking 2 quarterbacks, you buffoon. And sure enough, Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. So, grade the pick for me. I'm going to give it an A. If we're being and that's because it's round frickin' 5. I didn't even like Shedeur Sanders as a pure passer prospect coming in. But at round 5, I can't complain with this. No one can complain with this. The only actual downsides I can think of are, 1, he brings a bit of a circus, an entourage, a spotlight, and usually you want your QB2, QB3 to be the most under-the-radar, nonchalant guy out there, not to be the main attraction for the backup. So that is something that could wear thin a little bit of why is the backup not just getting this much attention, but we as a team are busting our asses, and all we constantly hear is put Shedeur in, put Shedeur in. Here's what the Browns gave up, by the way, to trade up into round 5 to secure him. Their last day 3 draft pick. So unless they give up one of their 2020 6 draft picks. Cleveland with pick 144 is done for the rest of the NFL draft. But getting back to the actual cons, there is the entourage thing, right? That's one part. That teams may feel like, hey, we just don't want that much, attention, I guess we'll call it, for a backup quarterback. I wonder if Kevin Stefanski is a little bit queasy about this, because you know that Deion is already thinking about coaching the Browns. He signed an extension with Colorado, but at some point he wants to coach Shedeur in the pros. Whether it's with Cleveland, whether it's with his next team, whatever it may be. So Stefanski might be sitting there going, did I just Macbeth myself? Like, did I just draft my demise, my replacement in a way? And then the third con I'll put out there is you passed on Will Howard and Kyle McCord. Those were the top 2 quarterbacks out there. So you made a decision. And if those guys end up having better careers, well, right now it seems super fun. As Shedeur Sanders, I'm watching a video of him jumping into his pool, almost completely dressed out of pure excitement that his name has finally been called with the Browns hat on. It's been the number one talking point. Big Pro, Mel Kiper can stop bitching now about Shedeur not being drafted. But Shedeur Sanders, welcome to the land. At 144, Cleveland gets a quarterback that they had long been connected to. Nowhere near where people expected him to go. But at the end, it doesn't matter. And hopefully he joins the ranks of Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins as some of the great recent day 3 quarterback selections. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, if you haven't yet. We want to get to 44,500 subscribers. So scroll on down and click that sub button right now. Oh my God, Shedeur Sanders to the Browns. Wow. It happened. We got 2,300 people watching right now. For round 5, what's there not to like? I know he wasn't everyone's cup of tea as a passer. He was not my preferred prospect. But at round 5, you have to have a line in the sand where you go, it's not like you were going to probably find anyone better. Go back to the last 10 Browns drafts. Someone tell me the best 5th round draft pick the last 10 years for Cleveland in that spot.